What's good with it? Lucky Lucky Podcast. I know our boys in the building. It's a great Tuesday. Great Tuesday. 6 is left. This is how the last 3 Tuesdays have gone in Chicago left.
That's right.
80 degrees, snow, 60 degrees.
Mm.
Only in the Midwest.
Only in the Midwest,
Only
man.
Midwest.
You're gonna get just about everything you're asking for.
I'm pretty sure out there it's like 75, sunny.
It's been pretty consistent.
Yep. Yep. Kind of like we wish Notre Dame would be pretty consistent.
They have been just in a
different way.
different way.
They have represented the Midwest for sure.
Mm.
We are brought to you on CFB Nation, presented by Twisted Tea. Hey, hey. See, I've been drinking my tea.
That's right.
So my voice is getting better.
What kind of tea is it? The
This morning my wife bought me this peach respiratory tea that she got from the herbal store.
Okay.
And it's supposed to help restore like the breathing, the nasal passage, all of that. Certain things that were like side effects for me. So it was really good. I'll say that.
Okay.
It's really good. Because I personally I could only drink tea with sugar. And now I'm like getting used to putting honey in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was straight up sugar, like, but it is what it is. Once again, we got Bishop Zaire on the ceremony, order of services today. So today we're talking about changes and combos at Notre Dame. Changes and conversations that are taking place during the bye week at Notre Dame. And Left is about to tell you the changes and conversations that need to take place during the bye week at Notre Dame. I'm gonna sit back and let you rock like I did yesterday. I can't wait to hear this list.
Man, the changes. Well, one of the changes I think is just having that focus on the future. And I think Marcus Freeman in this time should take the time to talk to those who he trusts the most. Those on staff. Start those conversations with Al Golden early. I
Mhm.
think that'd be my first order of business. What is Al Golden thinking? You may not have to tell me anything. I just need to kind of spitball with you, kind of reassess. Obviously, we don't have, or do we have New Year's Six potential? Or how is
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
we got the tax layer, you know, that type of thing. Okay, so yeah, like what's his spitballing ideas of his status? Because I think he should start thinking about what his entire staff should look like. And then after the Al Golden conversation, I would definitely think Pete Bach would be high on the order of business because I know they were fostering some sort of relationship early, doing some things, but he needs to have that conversation and know what he's getting into. Does he have the free range ability to take over the program like he wants to? Because he, I would use these last 2 seasons as an example of why he needs to be in full control of what he's got going on because it's just like, hey man, I mean, what do you expect out here when I'm only halfway doing it? So with half the production of what I needed to look like, I can give you this. But if you just let me do my thing like a normal program, give me some coaches, give me some money in that area, whatever, we can really turn it around. So that would be a top conversation. Another conversation I would have is with Sam Hartman. You know, bring him to the office a couple days before we give him time to have a couple days off, and just so he had time to think about it. And I'd be like, hey, we brought you here. Things obviously wasn't the perfect situation, but we cleared the decks for you because we signed you for these 3 games. And the contract, was based off of those 3 games. You help us, we help you. But now, as the head coach, I got to start helping me, you know. And so I got to compromise with you, whether we start helping Angeli get these little reps in because I got to know what I have with him. You can help and foster that relationship, or I got to go with him and, thank you for your service. If you want to just fly home early, it's no harm, no foul. If you just want to start training for the draft, go ahead. You can use the facilities, work out, come and go as you please, but, you know, we got to start moving on. This is a good opportunity for Steve Angeli to get some games in, some Kenny Minchie action. Gino Gaduli, next conversations with Gino Gaduli. Okay, it's bowl season. We going somewhere, which means there's some practices that we're going to have to really start hashing out of who we have on this roster. And we also have some games left that I want to see Steve Angeli with Kenny Minchie being right on his back, what this can look like. Because if that's what 3 weeks of preparation, right? Of game week preparation with 1 and 2, and then on top of that, you got 3 actual games, and then after that, you got a bowl game with a week or 2 of practice. It's a lot of time and tape to know what you want to do heading in the spring. Do I bring in another guy? Do I like what I got that I can move on with? Whatever. Those are the most important conversations right there, because now you got to consider giving Steve the chance, because worst case scenario, you tell Steve after that stint, hey, you got enough film, you got you a bowl game, transfer portal's big, I'll help you go somewhere. But Kenny Minchie, if you shine, it's gonna be your job to lose. With Steve in the wings and CJ Carr looking to try to get him on a hot start, because I got Deuce Knight coming. I need to retain that.
Well, Deuce is next year. CJ is this year.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I need to retain that possibility of him being able to come in and play, or have
Yeah.
a system of operation when he comes in. So I need to have these guys rolling, because I need to keep that commitment. I don't need to lose a Deuce Knight in the recruiting class that I'm trying to build for the future. So that needs to happen for me. Then my other conversation, I'm going to Jared Parker, giving him a 4 game audition. But we getting off of Sam. Now you got Angeli, who's been here the whole time. He know the offense better than anybody. Now I'm gonna give you these opportunities to see what you can do with Sam and get Kenny in the weights. How can you help Kenny out? How can you help Angeli out? You can call more, because Angeli should know more, in my opinion. But also, you should focus on developing what you can with the rest of this pass game, because at this point, it's about seeing what we got. Because then I got to go down and talk to these receivers after that. Obviously, you was in a position where you probably wasn't the top of the list. That's fair. I don't think he thought he was at the top of the list. So I don't know how this is gonna go moving forward, but I want to help you. Obviously, put together some good bowl tape, last couple game tape. Because it'd be good for you too. Because now you offensive coordinator at Notre Dame, you automatically go somewhere else, and now you can probably do what you want. So then, then I gotta go to the receiver room,
Mm.
and me and Chancey Stuckey gotta have a heart to heart, and we gotta figure out what's missing in the room, what's working, what's not working, and then why is it or is it not working. I think a lot of that is because for all the talent that we feel like we have in that room, it's very underwhelming, and it's kind of weird because it's Notre Dame. We're not recruiting guys that are the bottom of the list or anything.
Did we lose left? All right, Lucky Lefty podcast. Left a tap back in. I don't know what's up with the California Wi-Fi this week, but he left off on the conversation um, with Chancey Stuckey. Chancey Stuckey left. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Chase, I got to see. Listen, this is your audition too. Now, a lot of receiver coaches have been rotating through here. I would like you to be somewhat of a foundational piece, especially because he's good in recruiting. Now, but also I need you to develop these guys because somebody's got to be a dog in this group, and I feel like that would be your number one job of finding who is the number one guy that everybody needs to center around that maybe can spark the other guys in the room to show their ability as well. And I think that should be the main goal for him because right now you're just coaching a bunch of guys, or as Steve Smith says, a bunch of jacks,
Mm,
just a guy. So I think it's important that we make use of the stars that we're bringing in because that reflects on recruiting that we may not even know the impacts of, but also it's important that we look at this as an opportunity to 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 showcase in that in these last games with a different quarterback that we do have a stronger offensive passing team than was we've been able to display. I think Sam's hurt, honestly. And plus, after these 3 games, we've seen enough. You didn't fulfill your end of the contract, and it is what it is. It's college football. This was a more of a beneficial relationship for him, in my opinion, because what did we really get out of it? Is Sam the greatest quarterback since whoever? I don't think so. Is Sam statistically so much greater than what we've had already? I don't believe so. Did he even leave an impact on the season that's more memorable than Jack Combs? Probably not. At least he's in the PlayStation 6 Bowl, or whatever that was. So I do think that the experiment wasn't what we thought it would, or wasn't what most people thought it would be, because I knew the potential of what this could be, and specifically what it would come down to
hmm
to validate if this made sense or not. We could quantify if Sam's journey to Notre Dame was what it was paved, you know, to be, and it wasn't. So I don't think it's no harm, no foul in terms of what we think about Sam. Yeah, we think he's probably a great guy, but this was a very contractual transfer, in my opinion, and that's how Marcus Freeman should go about it because Marcus Freeman expected those 3 games to be handled better by a guy that's a veteran and has XYZ of a fifth year that we didn't have. And I thought Marcus Freeman felt more comfortable going that route than having the unknown of a Tyler Buckner or whoever, which I feel like most coaches would have went the same route. So I don't think it was a mistake for Marcus Freeman to get Sam. I just think that in combination of things, bringing Sam wasn't like bringing a dude. So you needed to have a lot of different things around him that I don't think offensively we hashed out well enough, even though we pseudo did with clearing the decks of the competition around him. So I think that it's just a tough conversation to basically restructure what, many would consider very underwhelming to what we thought we had coming in from the potential of what it could be. Run game, I think is more so they need to work on pass blocking. All of them, the bye week, they just need to go to pass blocking school, Dina McCullough, because in the crunch time, pass blocking at the running back situation is been atrocious. So defensively, I think just the encouragement of the guys in the secondary, giving them a picture of what he would like them to finish the season like, just the defense in general, and I think more of a connection he would have to the defense, especially the linebackers. Just kind of give an assessment of probably what he thinks with those guys and you know their idea of how they want to finish the season because they have a lot of seniors in there, but also just just figuring out what kind of works and doesn't work or things he could do better. I think just a self assessment of himself and how he's approached defense, uh, which I think has been great, but also is and you don't want to overshadow what the offense's issues are with how you can still get on the defense because I think there's an Al Washington conversation to have because how do you get more sacks out of a room that I think is talented in just different ways? You got to find a way to put them in position to get more sacks, and especially those younger guys get more involved. So uh, that's what I would do. And then special teams just keep cheering on Viaggi, man. That's my dog. So
Um, oh, the changes. Okay, those are the combos, the changes that need to take place over the bye week.
so I would definitely transition Sam Hartman into Steve Angeli time and have Minchie, getting some backup and potential reps just to just jumpstart it. I think the best thing Notre Dame can do from a developmental standpoint is throwing the fish in the water. Throw them in there. You got to see what you got because the point of them even coming to Notre Dame is to develop.
Hmm.
You heard a great story about um, John Brown, the commentator at CBS, uh, with the fro.
Not
Um,
John Brown.
Not
I know
John
you're talking
Brown,
about the
John
main
Funk,
guy. Yeah, yeah,
the main guy.
yeah.
And so, he got asked to get on and he's trying out. He did terrible his first time. Did terrible. So after the thing, they get the call.
James Brown. James Brown.
James Brown.
Yeah,
James
yeah.
Brown.
James Brown from the DMV area, matter of fact.
Yeah, yep. So they said he didn't do well his first season. So they was like, he had to call his bosses. They said, I don't think this is going to work out. I'm sorry, we're not going to bring you back on. And he was like, well, that's why I'm here, right? Y'all supposed to help me get better, help me do this. Of course, I'm not good at it my first time, but isn't that why I'm here? You're supposed to put me on. They said ever since then, they got him with somebody, and he never looked back. Man, it was a different perspective looking at the answer no, but he saw it as obviously me coming in and not knowing, like just like how I felt, they just tell you to do it. You have no idea what to do. And then when they actually teach you and develop you and you take it serious, you can have something special. So that's kind of how James Brown's story was cool. I thought about, and it's the same thing at Notre Dame. We don't know what we have with Kenny Minchie holding him on the sideline. We don't know what we have with Steve Angeli holding him on the sideline. So, you don't come to Notre Dame and sit the bench, in my opinion. So you got to be able to just put him out there and then evaluate if there's something to develop. I think Drew Pine would have been a good case study if he played earlier, that we would have seen it was something to move on before we even got to where we got to with him.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been like, oh yeah, you not it. You not it. Let's go ahead, get you up out of here. Bring somebody to fill that spot. We until we find a room that's fostering that competition type like Alabama. We got to find that lead horse and then somebody that can compete with it. Because right now there's no lead horse in the Notre Dame quarterback room. I think what made 12 to 15, 16 so special. Well, 12 to 17 so special was that it was always a league horse in the room, and it was always an incumbent in some way. It was always a guy that was okay. He's nice. He can do some things, but it was always the guy behind him that was around, that was capable. Opinion if he's better or not, who cares? But he's capable.
Mm-hmm.
So to have a lead horse and always a capable guy in the room, I think that's kind of what made it so solid for us. Along with our competitive ways, then and it made the team better. Now you look after that, it just became a place that looked like a office space, a bunch of coworkers, looked like Staples. It didn't look like a football room. It looked like a bunch of homies hanging in a treehouse. Everybody's on the same page. Everybody's friendly, and attention to winning and the importance of it was very watered down. You just had a bunch of guys that just liked playing football. There wasn't no spice in the room, and you didn't have any spice in the offense. It just just ended up what happened. I mean, you started knowing less of receivers, and then we had a weird transition of having receivers that were uber talented, but you didn't know about it until they got to the draft. And then after that, you didn't have any more talent, honestly, that really popped for you like it did when you had that run that we did at quarterback. And I think it just shows the and lack of attention to care in recruiting of what you needed to win instead of trying to be coaching what you were comfortable with and what was easy to do. So it wasn't easy during our stretch, but we had a bigger goal in mind in terms of trying to win the whole thing. And there's no way in those recruiting years after Ian you could tell me they was trying to win at that position by recruiting the best that they could. I thought they got very specific in their parameters of what they wanted to recruit, which is odd because you're trying to recruit the best in each position, and you're shaping the way you recruit your position very unorthodox, to the times of what is going to take to win, So I think that had to be addressed, but it's something that Marcus Freeman, I believe he can do. He's had tough conversations before. He's just got to continue to not be overly anxious to cover for things he shouldn't have to apologize for.
That's spot on, Left, because when it comes to Marcus Freeman, I think we saw the post game, the frustration internally, really bubbling up to the point that it was really difficult for him to handle questions about certain topics without stepping outside of who we normally see and the persona of Marcus Freeman. And he came dangerously close a couple of times post game on Saturday, and it was like, do it, just say it. Stop trying to be this perfect. Say it, man. Like, say it. You don't have to go by the script, the Notre Dame script. Speak your mind. You're the head coach. Let people know what you expect. Learn how to talk to the people in that administration, that coaching staff, and in that locker room through the media. See, that's what Nick Saban does. See, that's why when people try to get, Deion Sanders is throwing players under the bus. Nick Saban been throwing his players under the bus and using the media to motivate them for decades. Decades. That's what the best coaches do. Phil Jackson did it for decades. It's like, man, learn how to use that, because the media is definitely going to use you and your words and take them out of context and write stories and have podcasts and talk about it. Try to dissect it. That's their job. So, hey, use them as well to get a point across to Notre Dame administration, players, coaches, everybody. Like, yo, this ain't it. This is not us. This is not Notre Dame. We're going to take this week off to find out what fat needs to be cut. Unfortunately, guy like me, I like a little fat on my steak, on my rib tips. So I don't really like you to cut my fat away. But speaking in the terms of Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame, yeah, it's time to cut the fat, man. It's time to cut the fat. You're gonna end up more than likely with 9-3 seasons back to back, 10-3, or whatever. They were 9-4 last year. You end up possibly 10-3 this year.
What Vegas have is 8-5 again.
Yeah, the over. They're gonna cover the over. That they're gonna get that.
We got Stanford and we got who else?
It's Wake Forest next week. I'm not worried about Wake Forest. Wake Forest, nah. But that Stanford game, I told people, Stanford's getting better and better, bro. Stanford should have beaten Washington. They had Washington. They had the ball with a chance to take the lead in the fourth quarter, and my man just dropped a flat out first down. They had Washington, So that Stanford game, I told people weeks ago, that's not a bunny. It's not, especially, dude, how many times is Notre Dame going out to Stanford with the better team and just the craziest things just happen in Palo Alto?
Every time. It never failed.
The craziest things.
That is
and it's
a
no
tough
different.
game. Every time.
So instead of going out there and spanking them to set yourself up for a New Year's Six bowl, more than likely you have to go out there and battle with these dudes and wrestle with a big lineman all day to come out with a close victory, especially if you're making changes at the quarterback position. If you're making changes, our poll question. Go to YouTube, Lucky Lefty Podcast, subscribe, the thumbs up, smash it, notification bell. Every time we go live, you'll know. Leave your comments. We respond to all. The poll question of the day is up. Right? Yesterday, the poll question was, should Notre Dame bench Sam Hartman and move on to Steve Angeli? 39% of you guys said yes. I think it was like 13% of you guys said no. And then it was like another 40% of you guys that said play both of them moving forward.
Steve got
So
to play.
it is, look, man. Yeah, I saw somebody in the chat because I'm going to get to this, and then we're going to transition over to the second half, which is how in the world does Tommy Reese pull out his Gator Bowl game plan and put up 42 on LSU? So is it really game plan or is it the players? So yeah, is it game plan or players? We're really
Yeah,
gonna get into it in this transition because there's been a whole lot of blame going on about coaching, game planning, play calls. I saw Jalen Milroe make a whole bunch of plays Saturday night, off script, a whole bunch. But I digress. Back to the conversation that we're having right here, Lucky Lefty Podcast. SD2 Mike, Sean Davis, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik ZAIRE. We talk about Steve Angeli coming in. Steve Angeli comes in. The great thing, like you said, Left, he knows the playbook better than anybody else in that quarterback room. But is Marcus Freeman saying, yo, we need to simplify things? Or is he saying, yo, we need to let Steve ride?
yeah. I think you got to throw the fish out there, man. What is there to simplify? He's been there long enough. He probably knows more than Jared Parker does, and he should be the most comfortable he's probably ever been being there as long as he should have, as long as he has.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think Steve is in the more advantageous of playing more free because there's nothing to play for. What do you? I mean, obviously we want to play for a bowl game, but if you just do the right things, you should be fine.
Yeah.
And for us, we need to see what it is because I think the worst case scenario is having to get another transfer, and the best case is knowing what your future is, Steve, so we can know what our future is with bringing these guys that we've recruited heavily to an extent that we believe has enough talent that we don't need to get somebody else.
Yeah.
It would only throw us back another year if we go get a grad transfer that we only bring it in for 1 year. So even if he's a 2 year guy, you can't be here. So you Steve, you gotta play these 4 games. Like it's like, we Sam is in a worse position only because you just holding up the show at this point. If I'm
Yeah.
Marcus Freeman, I'm thinking about my coaching future. Sam, you are not in that part.
Let,
So
let me let me ask you this. Because one thing we're gonna be here to everyone is fair. We want to be fair. The decision to bring Sam Hartman, which is why this is frustrating to Marcus Freeman, was really Tommy Reese and his vision for Sam Hartman and his offense.
that's right.
That's who went to recruit him, speak to him, to lay out this is how I envision you in the Notre Dame offense, and then he cuts bait. Yeah, that's kind of unfair. Tough situation. Sam Hartman's put in now, working with an offensive coordinator that can know the playbook but doesn't have a vision for him. See, Tommy had to have a vision for him before he even went to him to pitch him. He's like, yo, Coach Freeman, I think this is the guy we need. I'm going to go talk to him. I know exactly how I'm going to use him. Bam. So, yeah, he was put in a tough situation, right? I get that. Hey, Jared Parker was put in a tough situation, in my opinion, which is why I was a little bit more patient than most people. And I'm to the point now where I'm willing to move on after 1 year. But knowing the situation he was put in, I'm like, man, look, It wasn't fair to him to ask him to pretty much run somebody else's offense.
I mean,
Try-
hell, it's not fair for Marcus Freeman.
That's what I'm. This is why I go back to what I said yesterday.
But
It's
he took it.
dysfunction.
Yeah,
It's
it's just fine.
dysfunction. There's a whole bunch of unfair situations going on.
Basically.
Like, can we get some continuity? Can we? Can it? I'm just letting you know. Your boy LeBron is going on the petty train today for his comments post game after the Miami game last night. I don't give a darn about him passing the ball at the end of the game. Dude, whether it was the right play and all that, I ain't getting to that, dude. But his comments about, we'll get to it. But I don't care what anybody said. LeBron could be upset because Miami as an organization did not acquiesce to him and his demands the same way Cleveland and Los Angeles did. You know why? And this is what you have to respect. They got one dude. Everybody, you say the Miami Heat, you know who's in charge. Left, dude. Miami Heat, who's in charge?
Pat Riley.
That's it. That's it. That's who's in charge. Unfortunately, when you say Notre Dame football, most people say Jack Swarbrick. They don't say the head coach. They say the athletic director. I don't see that at any other big time program. I don't even know who the athletic director of Georgia is. I have no clue. None. None. Texas AD. I don't know. Alabama AD. No clue.
No clue.
Just because of recent news, I know Wardell is the athletic director at Michigan. I know the athletic director at the U of I because that's the alma mater. Other than that, that's not the way it goes, man. Nobody feels like Marcus Freeman is in charge at Notre Dame. No one. I did know my boy was the AD at Ohio State.
Gene Smith, yeah.
Gene Smith, that's retired. A new Gene. But this is one of those unfortunate things, right? And one of those things that really needs to be solved. There needs to be continuity, man, within the administration and the Notre Dame football program. Whoever the head coach is needs to be the guy.
Yeah.
So, we have alums that watch the show. Like, you guys went there, you're tapped in. I can't speak to what needs to happen, right? If certain people need to get the hell out of the way, then get the hell out of the way. People Bach was coming in, but hey, Jack is hovering around training them. So will Pete get out the way and let Marcus Freeman be Notre Dame football?
Yeah.
We'll see. As I said before, ever since Lou Holtz, Notre Dame as a school has been pretty adamant that that football program would never ever outshine the university.
Yeah, that's why Lou is the most famous, even though Brian is the most winningest. You would think Lou is the most winningest, the way they love him so much.
Yeah,
And the university will never ever get over that.
yeah.
They don't talk nothing about what the university was doing positively or at all when it comes to Lou Holtz. It's just you would have thought Lou Holtz was Bill Belichick over there.
Yeah,
He was just as
yeah.
big as Father Hesburgh.
It is. It is one of those things, left, as I said before. As much as we touched on yesterday, you know, Notre Dame fans need to stop playing the blame game because we're the ones that keep going around in circles. Notre Dame is doing what they want to do. The money is rolling in. Nothing's changing. They're happy with the brand. They got the apparel deal. They got that check. They're about to get a TV deal. And that check, and Notre Dame and the powers that be, they're fine with that. To them, the football program is doing exactly what it needs to do for them. And we as the fan base, well, as alumni, Subway alumni, people that just became fans because of proximity or, family, it's our emotions that are getting tugged on going into year 36 next year. And at this point, all we're asking for is a little bit of continuity. That's it. That's it. A program where we're going in one direction, no dysfunction, everybody on the same page with one leader. I don't know if that's too much to ask, Left. I don't know if that's too much to ask. But if it is,
I don't know. I don't know. It
if it
feels
is
like
too
it
much
is.
to ask, just let us know. Just let us know. Lucky Lefty podcast. As I said before, Left, I literally, this is the first time all season I've been like on board. Like, yo, I don't like people losing their jobs, especially around the holidays. But hey,
Hey,
maybe he can go back to being the tight end coach.
it's almost a good thing because at the end of the day, it's about the kids, and they
Hmm.
are not fulfilling that end of it, especially kids like Tobias Merriweather.
Hey, Lucky Lefty podcast. We come back. Is it players or is it play calling and system? We'll get to it. Lucky Lefty podcast. We spin it different. Welcome back, Lucky Lefty podcast. Left just gave you the conversations and the changes that need to take place during the bye week at Notre Dame. He broke it all the way down. He even went to the defensive side of the ball, which is a much shorter list of conversations and changes. As always, we are on CFB Nation presented by It's the T.
That's right.
I was getting loose this morning. Let me see if I can show you, Left. You see my turntable over there in the corner?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. I'm about to get back into my DJing, man.
Really?
Yeah, I got it. Let me tell you what inspired me, dude. I don't know, I watched The View, right? And I watch it because I watch it because I think Whoopi Goldberg is an incredible moderator.
He is.
You mean she is.
She is. Sorry.
So it's all good. So that's really why I watch The View. I think I watch her, she controls her emotions, you know, and as someone that's leading, and just really trying to be a co-host that leads the conversation on a podcast and tries to alley-oop you every day, you know, I work at my craft. I try to become better at it, Left. And the conversation came up today. One of the co-hosts, Joy Behar, just wrote her first play and became a playwright at 80. And she was like, yo, you're never too old to find something. There's always something you can do
Yeah.
to improve yourself. And that kind of inspired me, dude. And I remember one of the things that brought me a lot of joy, when I was a teenager going into college was DJing. Not even at parties, just like in the basement, like
Really?
at my boy's crib. Like I didn't want to be in front of a crowd at a club, but like literally just being able to because his brother was a DJ and we would wait for his brother to leave and we would
Y'all
hop
go
on.
down there and get on it.
Yeah, we would hop on, And so yeah, I already have the internal system to do it on my computer, but I have one more turntable to get. I'm gonna start practicing my scratching and everything.
Oh hell yeah! There you
Yeah,
go.
get my cue on from Juice.
Now, where would you do it now?
You know what? Like the ultimate thing would be for me, Left. We are celebrating our 25th anniversary next year. My ultimate would be to like DJ at our anniversary.
Oh, that'd be
Like
good.
like do a 30-minute set.
Oh hell yeah, that'd be good.
You know what I'm saying? A 30-minute set that represents us. Because music is like huge in our relationship.
And
I
you
would
go
do a
back through the
30-minute.
years kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I would do a 30-minute set that represents us, and that would be the pinnacle for me, bro. That
Wow.
would be the pinnacle for me. This piece, I'm doing this is just like a hobby, just to like, you know,
Get to
like I
spin it
said,
again.
man,
New
yo,
records to mix.
man, my scratching was I could scratch.
Okay.
Yeah, I could scratch. That was my thing. My blending wasn't as good as my scratching. Blending from one song to the next song.
Right. But you could run it back. Get that.
Woo! Run it back and yeah, dude, that was my thing. I told you I wanted to be Q, bro. Remember Q was making a tape for his audition?
Yeah. He was going through those. He's making money.
Yeah, yeah, that was who I wanted to be. Which is kind of like a battle DJ more than like a DJ that does parties and
Yeah,
clubs.
because he was doing those competitions.
Absolutely. Right. So that was really my vision. Like, be a battle DJ. But yeah, once again, don't forget, poll question of the day on our YouTube page. What change? What's the most important change you want to see taking place? Do you want to see change at quarterback, change at linebacker, changes at wide receiver, or changes in the coaching room with adjustments? Those are the options. You can go to our YouTube channel right now. The link is also up on Lucky Lefty Pod on Twitter. Cast your vote. At this point, let me refresh it because I'm sure people have been voting over the last couple of hours left. Let's see. Coaching adjustments leads the way at 57% left. I'm sorry, it wasn't wide receiver room. The options were quarterback, offensive line, linebacker, and coaching adjustments. 57% coaching adjustments, 28% quarterback, 11% offensive line, and 3% linebacker. Go cast your vote right now. Lucky Lefty Podcast YouTube page. It's a lot of people also commenting, man, Left saying that Gino Gaduli needs to get a shot at OC. I don't know about that, but hey, we'll see, man.
Wait,
Hey,
Gino
man.
being hold on, Gino
Yeah,
Gaduli
fans
having a
think
shot at.
they think that Gino needs to get a shot at some of the play calling.
I don't know where that's coming from. I mean,
I mean, I
maybe
told you it's the fans, Left. I mean, they're frustrated,
they
bro.
desperate for anything. I mean, how
They're frustrated.
I think Gino Gaduli will be. I just envision him as a better developer. But who knows? I mean, at this point, if you hiring guys who've never done it
Yo,
before, why not Gino? If you're gonna continue this
yo,
streak,
what are you working with, dude? Pacific Bell out there, dude, with the Wi-Fi?
man, listen. Just know you got to keep your electronics away from your kids, man. Hold on, let me see if I can fix this.
Oh
I gotta see
man.
if I can fix this. Hold on.
Oh man, Lucky Lefty Podcast. So I wanted to play this right quick, Left, because I know we played it yesterday, but
Okay.
After the show, something jumped out to me, and it really scared me, Left. This is Jack Kaiser once again, post-game against Clemson.
You can't really focus on what's going on the other side of the ball. When you're a veteran-led group like we are, we're very fortunate to have a lot of leaders, and we're not focused on that. We're internally motivated, right? We don't care what the circumstances going out on the field. We know that we got to go out there and do our job day in, day out, every snap. So, at the end of the day, like most of the time you're not even watching that much because you're on the sideline, getting coaching points, talking to each other. And so, when it's our time to go on the field, we got to perform, and that's what we're most concerned about.
So yesterday, I was very impressed with Jack Kaiser and his accountability and how I felt like his comments were 100% authentic in comparison to Sam Hartman.
That's
his
right.
Post-game comments. But after hearing it, I said, God, dog it, Left. He's right. Jack Kaiser is pretty much saying we can do this because we're an experienced group.
Yeah.
Like we played a lot of football games.
Together too.
Yeah. And then I thought about both sides of the ball next year, especially if Xavier Watts decides to leave.
Oh no, he hot right now, but yeah. He come back,
Notre
we really
Dame.
cook you.
Well, see, this is my thing. We've all seen, Fox, NBC, ESPN all do stories on Xavier Watts and his family situation with his dad. I can't fault that young man for hitting while the iron is hot and getting that money
Man, go ahead and get that money.
to help his family. As much as I would love to see him come back, right? Because he's only done it for 1 year.
We just need the NIL collective to step in. That's all. Notre Dame got the resources.
Exactly. This is one of those examples where we need the NIL collective to say, hey, X, we got you. The young man is graduated already, Left. He's graduated already. So,
Oh yeah, he
people
needs
are
to get
like,
paid.
people are like, yo, he needs to come back. Like, dude, you seen the special on this man's dad? That young man needs to go take care of his family. He needs to make life better for his family. But Notre Dame is going to be a very inexperienced team next year, Left. That's what jumped out to me. I'm listening to Jack Kaiser and I'm like, God, dog, we're gonna be inexperienced next year.
But this is how you save the season. You got 3 games, weeks of bowl prep, bowl game. A lot of reps. A lot of game time that you can get in when you transition to going younger, but you got to commit to it. Got to bench Sam. Send him home. Hell, he don't got enough credits to graduate nothing anyway.
Send him home, Left.
Send him home. Give him a nice little varsity jacket, a nice congratulatory package. Get him out of there. Steve, you got to play today. We're throwing you in the fire. It's Notre Dame. Not having any more hanger-oners. Either you can play here or you can't. Because we recruit like guys are going to come in and play tomorrow. Cam Williams is expecting to come in and play tomorrow.
Well, Cam Williams is a totally different wide receiver. Totally different wide receiver.
And how you think we got him there? Because we said he's going to play.
But see, Cam Williams is the type of wide receiver you're like, yo, get the ball in this dude's hands. Reverses, quick screens, fly routes, quick slants.
Just like Jeremiah Love.
He can do it all. Exactly. I don't think we ever, like Ryan Roberts and myself, never looked at Jaden Greathouse or Rico in that fashion. We just never did. And I still don't want that pressure on Cam Williams when he sets foot on campus.
It's automatic. You see that room we got right now?
Let it be automatic because he's that dude, Left.
It's gonna
See,
be
let it.
forced. I mean, we forced Rico.
No, Rico was kind of pushed into certain things. Hey, man, I'm not about to go back to. I think the biggest mistake, in my opinion, was how. It's just my opinion. Okay, the staff, for whatever reason, because there was an issue between coach player. Staff, when it came to spring ball, alienated a certain wide receiver that's no longer at Notre Dame by putting somebody that never played the position with the starters. Now, if you just want to have it be an open competition to see who becomes the starter, fine. Yeah, he's coming off a rough year, rough season, so no position is yours. But when you just anoint somebody that's never played the position, like he's with the starting group, you alienate. Like I said, as bad as he played, he had the most receptions and receiving yards returning to that room. You say what you want to say. And he would have had value, especially with the injuries as a veteran. So, look, man, Notre Dame made some decisions that led to them being a little bit short, a little bit unlucky with injuries to Deion Colzie, who is, Deion Colzie's gonna be a dog next year. Left. That's the normal path of wide receivers at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Injuries their first 3 years, and then their senior year they just take off.
Yeah.
So Deion Colzie's right on target.
The Javon McKinley strategy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Damn near might be up for All-American status. You know that.
He's right on target. Jaden Thomas still dealing with hamstring issues. And now you're dealing with a lacrosse player that is now on scholarship with the football squad. That's your most explosive player. 2 slot receivers as freshmen, because that's who they are. That was their strength. And now you're without your big time tight end. So, and I wish I could have started out the wide receiver room with Tobias, but heck, you wasted a freshman year of development. Just wasted it. And then you really just tried to kind of, you threw him in the starters as well. Just made him a starter. He didn't earn it. Made him a starter. Like, we expect him to make a jump. We didn't really give him confidence last year. We didn't develop him, but heck, he's in our starting group. He's gonna make the jump. Just osmosis. Snap of a finger. Yeah, automatically. That's not how it works, man.
Yeah, he doesn't even feel. He's like, well, how did I get here? He didn't have any skin in the game to be no automatic starter. I just showed you they putting anybody to force somebody to be the lead dog.
And it's troubling.
There's no competition in the room where a walk-on goes from walk-on status to scholarship in 2 to 3 weeks and becomes your best receiver. There's no competition in the room. You think we would have let Gummy Van Gorder, a walk-on in that quarterback room at that time, gain a scholarship while me and Deshaun and Brandon and all of them playing? Are you kidding me?
Speak on that, Left. No, stay right there. Stay right there. Because you're saying something. Because that's culture.
Yeah.
That's culture. That's not being disrespectful to that young man or what walk-ons do and how valuable they are within football programs. But just speak on that. Like the mindset. Like, this dude ain't getting no scholarship.
Yeah, you just. I mean, now this is a different. Like I said, like you said, this is not a disrespect to them earning it.
Mm-hmm.
Like shout out to Chris Fink, but I was telling them they should have offered Chris Fink before he got there. But this is I've seen he was at my high school. But I'm just saying, if you're a dog in that receiver room,
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking all of that as disrespect. I'm the 5-star guy. This dude was out here for another sport. And just because the two locker rooms are similar and close, he just walked in the other locker room on mistake. He was here for grades. You got thousands of kids fighting to get scholarships. They recruited me to come here. I'm a 5-star, earned it, All American. And then I let a walk on come in and beat the whole room out. I went from sitting in the front next to the film, now I'm in the back next to the Gatorade. How? Walk on getting all the game time snaps. We calling timeouts, they calling number 80's number, and he just got here. Fans don't know him, but he getting all the catches. He the one looking the best. That's crazy. I know that you can. I'll even say it for Deshaun. You would have never. We would have never ever let that happen in our quarterback room. It just wouldn't have happened. And respect to all the guys that were in the room, but there was just no way they were going to play over us when it came down to playing. Yeah,
I
we
don't
all
think it would have
friends.
happened. I don't think it would have happened in the wide receiver room back then.
Oh no, and they were all competitively friends, but no, it wouldn't happen. Not no walk on. It just wouldn't. It just wasn't even room for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the coaches wasn't looking that far on the depth chart to even try some shit like that. It was walk on just stayed on scout. Thank you for your service. But dudes was fighting for playing time the entire time. So it has to be a lead dog in the room to even set the pace.
Which goes back to what you said. There is no lead dog in that room. And if you don't have a lead dog in the room, I would venture to say you don't have a culture in that room.
That's it.
And that's what made with Jack Cos. I caught that. I'm like, yo, this team is going to be very inexperienced next year, bro. Like, who are the leaders on this team next year? Who? Are we really going to bring in a transfer quarterback to an inexperienced team? Are we really going to ask an inexperienced quarterback to lead an inexperienced team? And then the saving grace is, okay, this schedule next year is trash. This this schedule next year is super mid. Like, that's the only saving grace. Like, this is a schedule where you can actually allow a young team to grow and develop and get better and hopefully win games while doing it. Texas A&M to start, Florida State, USC in November.
Florida State did an amazing job of throwing their guy out there, Jordan Travis.
Yeah, he came here and got banged like Notre Dame, but
Hey,
showed toughness though. Jordan Travis kept coming back.
kept coming back.
I mean, his ribs hurt that game. He went
Bunch of
out for a couple of
mistakes.
plays.
Kept fighting.
He kept fighting. Absolutely. He's a
And went
tough
through a
son of a
whole
gun.
season of doing that whole thing. He did that thing the whole season. It wasn't just our game.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? What do you know? Transfer here, transfer there. Beefed up the O line here. Now you a 3-year starter. Oh yeah, it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's no surprise. That's what happens when you stick with a guy in developing, and he becomes a dude. So we have potential on our roster to do that, but it's not going to be accomplished by packaging him with a guy we already know what we're getting as in a transfer.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So, literally, if you go watch the Alabama game, I saw the bootleg flat layers with the levels hitting the running back out in the flat used. I saw the wide receiver coming in motion with the RPO and the running back leading the way for the quarterback run several times. The CBS broadcaster said Tommy Rees loves duo. That's his favorite running play. And Alabama ran it to death successfully against LSU and wore them down. And I sat there and I was watching and I was like, these are the exact plays that Tommy Rees used in the Gator Bowl against South Carolina with Tyler Buckner.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, as much as all these Notre Dame fans and everybody have been sitting here pointing the finger at Jared Parker and talking about play calls, and Tommy Rees isn't exactly the most creative offensive coordinator. He's more experienced. He's not super creative. And he literally took the same game plan that he won the Gator Bowl with Tyler Buckner and put up 42 on LSU with Jalen Milroe. And I was just sitting there like, yo, it was at least 6 to 7 plays. And I'm like, yo, that is
I've always got upset with Tommy.
Same play from the Gator Bowl.
I've only got upset with Tommy because of who he's recruited to be the trigger man. Never really complained about his offense, only complained about Tommy and who he wanted as the trigger man for it to happen. I just thought it didn't match, which is always what I've been upset about with Tommy. Never about him being the best coordinator in the world. I thought he is decently good in that. It's just the same as when we talked about when really good coaches get really good players, or coaches that may be in the middle of the road average and get really good players. The really good players are going to make things look really good. There's not too many really good coaches that make really average players really good. If you really think about it, it's not too many really good coaches that make really average players really good. There's always a component.
There are some that exist.
There's some.
Yes.
But it's more so you have really good players that make a lot more average coaches really good.
Oh, say that again, love. You're going to make me pull out the organ for this one. Okay. Go ahead. Keep going, love.
Because when you think about it, Jalen Milroe's a talent. The Alabama offense is talent. Hell, since they was getting Jerry Jeudy and Tua and Devontae Smith, they've had a lot of talent. Now you put a guy like Bill O'Brien there, who outside of a really dominatingly talented team, he's really average. You put him with Alabama with really good players, he looks like the Bill O'Brien that can get a job anywhere. It's almost like a facade. But the key and the common denominator in all of it is really good players. So for Notre Dame, our problem is we got really good players, but the players we got need really good coaching. Now, really good coaching can elevate a good player, but it can't make a team great. because the missing ingredient is the really, really good players. You can make a good team good, but you can't make them great without great players. But great coaching can only elevate an average team to a really good team. And that's what Brian Kelly was. I think he was a great coach for elevating, but never got the great, great players to match the coaching to get there. That championship game, we had really good players,
Mm-hmm.
but we played a team with great players and good
Yeah.
coaching.
So let me take your point and kind of expand and try to connect to something that, yesterday was the first day of college basketball for men's and women's all over the country. Shout out to James Madison for smacking Michigan State. I just had to say that as an Illinois fan. But one thing that I had to admit, my joy is only temporary. You know why, Left? Because you just talked about what elite coaches can do.
Yep.
I've seen Tom Izzo take mid teams to the Final Four. I've seen it.
Yep.
Multiple times. I've seen teams, Tom Izzo, ranked high, look terrible, middle of the season. I'm laughing as an Illinois fan. And all of a sudden, I look up in March. This dude's in the Elite Eight. He's in the Final Four. And I'm sitting here as an Illinois fan after the first game, like, well,
Yeah.
you're spot on. Heck, Colorado. Your girl Flo, what's her name? Flo J, and the other girl getting all that
Angel
NL.
Reese.
Yeah, dude. Angel Reese looked a little slow. She needs to go run some gassers.
Oh yeah, she's out of shape for sure.
Yeah,
But
she
knew
been
that was
kicking it
bad.
too much over the summer. Go get in shape. Colorado kicked your butt.
Kicking it. She been kicking it. She been
Kicked your
kicking
butt.
it.
But you know what?
Kicking
That's
it.
cool. That's cool. Because LSU was the same way last year. They struggled early and they hit their peak.
You talked about that.
They hit their
You talked
peak,
about that.
right? Man, Notre Dame, nothing to be ashamed. Over in Paris, that's Don Staley in South Carolina, dude. That's a locomotive. That is a peak program.
We don't got enough athletes for that.
No, y'all not ready for that.
No.
You're not ready.
I mean, they got athletes
However,
like an SEC team.
However, when you see them, or if you see South Carolina in the tournament, it's not going to be the same game, right?
No.
You get Olivia Miles back, get her legs under her, pair
That's
her
what I'm
with
saying.
Anna
Olivia Miles wasn't
Hidalgo,
there,
who's a beast. You let your
Hidalgo's
young,
nice. She's nice.
you let your young big girls, become acclimated, a little tougher.
Kiki Branford.
Hey, it won't be the same. Marcus Burton, let me tell you something, Notre Dame fans. I told you on IB Nation with Sean Stiers that Notre Dame would struggle defensively early. But I said Booth and Marcus Burton are going to be dudes.
Marcus Burton had 31.
That cat Marcus Burton is he's a diminutive cat. But that dude is a hooper.
He little though.
It don't matter, Left. That's a dog. And he don't care, dog. He's gonna let you know. Oh, I'm a dog.
I'm just concerned about his size.
And everybody, just go watch. Even if you watch the condensed game, I think the condensed game from the men's game is on YouTube. Just pay attention to the ATOs. I told people Shrewsbury was an offensive genius, dude. Offensive genius. Just look at the sets. When Notre Dame gets a little bit more shooting, a couple of other cats that can put it on the bounce or take it off the bounce Left.
Yeah. We're going to be all right.
Yeah, they're going to be on the popping, dog. I mean, dude, this dude after timeout plays, phenomenal.
He had him going. I didn't get to catch it, but I saw the highlight.
I'm telling you, bro, they might shock people because everybody expects them to be like the bottom of the conference. Let Burton and Booth, because after you play 15 games, you're not a freshman. Not if you start, especially by the time you get to February and March. You're not a freshman anymore. I'm telling you. You got something in those
You
two
saying that
freshmen.
coaching gonna really put us in good spots?
Say it again. Oh, Shrewsbury. Oh, he can coach his butt off. They just a little small. They're gonna get banged. They're gonna get banged on the boards.
Yeah.
Because they're a little small, they're a little thin, a little light in the pants. So
Yeah.
rebounding and defense, yeah, they'll get better. They'll get better. They'll get better.
But offensively, we're gonna be competitive.
And no, offensively goes back to what you just said. This is why I went there. The problem, because Notre Dame fans are gonna be frustrated because they're gonna have nights where they look really good offensively. They're gonna have nights where they look right. You know why? Because the coach is really good. He's elite. But his rosters ain't quite there yet. So it's only so much he can do.
Did they go through the same recruiting troubles as football?
Notre Dame basketball?
Yeah.
I don't think it matters, bro, because I think the transfer portal impacts basketball far more than football.
Really?
Yeah. If Shrewsbury can come in and get one or two key transfers, like he shows, this is what we're building. Come play with Marcus Burton. Come play with Booth. And he can get some veterans to come in and transfer next year.
Oh yeah, you only need like one or two players.
That's it, man. That thing is turned around.
Yeah, you don't need a lot
of. It's
turned
around.
Yeah.
That football is different.
Yeah,
football is a little different. Like
if he got like a got like a nice shooting guard and a physical big man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Keon Coleman just took Florida State over the top. Florida State was already ascending. They had been ascending. Keon Coleman just finally took them over the top and got them to that championship.
Yeah, they had the pieces of like defensive and stuff.
Yes, absolutely. So, and you can do that quicker in basketball. You can do that quick in basketball. And Notre Dame might need one or two veteran transfers football-wise. But I just wanted to bring that up because it connected to Notre Dame basketball. Because I think you have two elite coaches, but they just don't have the dogs yet. They don't have the dogs. Neil Ivy can go recruit. She can recruit guards like crazy.
Yeah. She got the guards and she can recruit on the outside wings for sure.
Yes. Now she has to go get
she gotta get them.
No. The girl from New York that's coming next year. Yeah. her and her doggo are gonna be a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Left that pick and roll for 2 years. Oh yeah. Yeah. But see, now you gotta go get a big nasty to protect her.
Right.
Because she's really like a stretch skill big.
Got it.
She's a stretch, so you go get some people down there, some girls that can do the dirty work that can kind of protect her and let her play her game.
Right.
Oh yeah. Neil Ivy's setting it up. Dude.
Yeah, she's setting it up. Ivy's elite on the recruiting for sure.
That's why if you watched the game yesterday, go watch the end of that game. She was very calm.
Because she knows. She knows.
She was like, I'm cool. She was like, we competed in the first half, and South Carolina just went to a gear that we don't have yet.
Yeah, we don't got it yet. Yeah, we don't have that gear.
Dude, there's no shame in that.
And it's early. It's super early.
It's early. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't even really be mad at it. It's like an exhibition still.
Absolutely.
Like basketball is so different than football. Football, you concerned. Like when Oregon got blew out by Georgia first game, you're like, oh yeah, Oregon gonna have a tough season.
Yeah.
Or Georgia is going to win it all. Like it's one of those things.
Yeah. Like Shrewsbury already made an offer to that kid I've been telling you about for like 6 months, Andre Brown Jr.
Yeah.
from like the
He's nice
26th
like that?
class. Man, okay. All right. That's that 6'6" wing right there.
Right there.
Yes,
And he can
sir.
shoot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he can handle it. And he taking it off the glass and bringing it up.
Oh man.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That cat Shrewsbury is all up in Chicago. Yeah.
Oh, he not doing
See,
football. He in Chicago.
Shrewsbury, he's not playing, dude. He's not playing. Shrewsbury is
letting
up.
Big
Yeah,
Ten
he's
schools.
up here. Him and his coaches, they in Chicago.
They in Chicago.
Oh yeah, they know. They know it's hoopers here. They're not playing it slow like the football staff. No.
So
not at all.
Chicago gonna be waving the Notre Dame flag for basketball.
Oh, it's already up. They all do. Shrewsbury started raising that bad fella when he got the job. I'm telling you, Notre Dame fans got a lot to be excited about for the future of both basketball programs. Both of them.
Oh yeah, both of them. Both of
Man,
them. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Lucky Lefty podcast. So, yeah, man, I agree with you, Left. If you ask me today, does Notre Dame have a coaching problem or a player problem? I would quickly tell you Notre Dame has a player problem.
Yep.
And some people might push back like, oh, Notre Dame has talent on this roster. They don't have the difference makers. See, that's to me, that's what I'm talking about. They don't have the quarterback, the wide receivers, or the defensive tackles yet.
Even with tight end, we've had great tight ends, but we never had a Brock Bauer.
Left. Now you know you're about to make people mad with Michael Mayer, bro. You already know. Come on, man. We went through this the last 2 years with Notre Dame fans with Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers, man. Now you gonna bring it back up?
Brock Bauer is a dude, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is. He's just a dude. He's like, it's bigger than just a tight end category. He's a great football player. You know, he's not gonna be hanging in the draft waiting rooms very long. And so that just speaks to his impact on the football field, not just as a position. Michael Mayer is a great tight end. He'll probably be a great tight end in the league.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers is just a great football player.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just, we have never had that at tight end. Eifert, okay, I would say Eifert, but Eifert didn't get the ball in many ways like Brock Bowers. We just used to throw it to Eifert. They be handing it to Brock, tossing little screens to Brock, throwing it deep. I mean, whatever you want.
So you're saying we've never had a tight end where you were just like, yo, we just have to get the ball in his hand. Like we just got to find a way, any way we can to get the ball in his hands.
As in our best skill player, no, I don't think we've had that. From a talent, I'm talking about just he is the most important player on the field. We've had great tight ends, but the great tight ends have never been the most important player on the field.
Yeah.
Like Brock Bowers getting the ball handed to him on 3rd and 4th down.
Yes.
Tight end.
Yes. Yes.
Tight end taking handoffs on 3rd and 4th down? When has the tight end ever done that for us?
That man saved Georgia's season last year on a 4th and 5 when that dude did the Matrix to get a first down. The Ohio State safety hit this dude 1.5 yards in front of the sticks, and that man put his hand down, Left. He put his hand down and kept himself elevated long enough so he could reach the ball across the marker, Left.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, man, this dude is special.
You never seen nothing like that.
This dude is special. Yeah. That's crazy, Left. Look, I might have to agree with you. Let me think about it. Let me think about it. Because I'm trying to think if Tyler could have been used in that way with his skill set, and maybe he just wasn't used in that way.
Tyler was too big to be taking end rounds.
Hmm.
Like Brock Bowers taking end rounds, like looking like a running back,
Yeah,
making dudes
yeah,
miss.
yeah,
Right? I
yeah,
mean, he's
yeah,
doing stuff
yeah,
that's like, all right, outrunning dudes down the like, come on, like you. Tyler Eifert was great at throwing it up,
yeah.
triple, double, whatever, 5 yards, 10 yards down the field, just throw it up. I'm gonna get it. Brock Bowers is like, I'm gonna snatch it from you. I'm gonna run you over. I'm gonna jump over you. I'm gonna make tough grabs. They going on third down. They might hand it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth down, I'm the dude they going to. Not no skill position. Not no running back. They going to me. And I think another hot take is that Xavier Watts is more productive than Kyle ever was in one season.
In one season.
In one season.
You asked me that the other day, and I was like, okay, all right.
Kyle never led the nation in interceptions, and Xavier Watts is more of a run box safety than anything else.
Man, did you see the hit he put on that tight end? That boy
I'm telling you,
was looking like George Jefferson holding his back.
I'm telling you.
I was like, ooh, X does
Xavier
bring the
Watts
wood.
is a run box safety that leads the country in interceptions. Kyle Hamilton has never done that. Kyle Hamilton has range. He's a playmaker. But Xavier Watts is a better football player. Leads the country in interceptions as a run box safety that's a converted receiver. The man could go play offense if he really wanted to.
I'm about to say something. Left. Wait a minute. Let me stop. Because I'm about to be. If you're sensitive and you're watching the show right now, just step away for a second. We still want you to be locked
leads the
in.
nation.
Just step away. If Xavier Watts went over to the offense during the bye week, he would be no lower than the second option. Let that sink in.
We really got a Travis Hunter on our hands.
Let that sink in.
We
And
really
I'm not
got the
joking.
real Travis Hunter.
I'm not joking.
I'm tweeting it out. We really got the real Travis.
I'm not joking.
We tweeting it
I'm
out.
telling you what I know from watching practice and what I've seen from the current wide receivers. If Xavier Watts took the bye week and strictly worked with the wide receivers for 2 weeks, he would be no lower than the second option in the wide receiver room. Because I'm telling you what he did for the 2 practices when they were trying to get him to play both positions in practice. He was catching balls up over Cam Hart in practice, 50-50 balls. And he had to flat out sit down with Marcus Freeman like, man, look, I know I can do that, and I know we need help over there, but, man, I want to stay over here at safety. I'm really talking about, I'm not being disrespectful because I'm really trying to tell you how talented the young man is. He really is. I don't know if I would say he's on the level of Trav, but he's that talented. He's that talented. And he would make an immediate impact. Immediate impact. Sam Hartman would love that dude. After one practice, like, oh, snap. We ain't had this year. That's why I said if you're sensitive and you're going to take it a certain way, just step away. I'm telling you, man. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I think it speaks to both ends. It speaks to his talent, but it also speaks to the deficiencies.
I tweeted it out. Had to be tweeted out. He could be number 2 or 3 option on our offense right now. The real Travis Hunter. Xavier Watts leads the nation as a interceptions, as a run box safety. Not a corner, as a safety. Leads the nation. And he's a tackling safety. And
I'm
he's
just telling you, man.
and he's a two-way player.
It's not about, let me say what I'm saying. Let me clarify, because I don't want this to be end up on some message board misrepresenting what I'm saying, like I was
Put it out.
disrespecting this guy and doing all that. It's not what I'm
Because it
saying.
makes sense.
I watched him in practice. He's
I'm
a
saying it.
playmaker, bro. He's a playmaker. Whatever he does on the field, he's going to make plays. Some guys are just those dudes. If he goes to wide receiver and puts his time and focus into that, he's going to be a playmaker. He's just a playmaker. This dude switched a totally different position that he had to learn. He's never done it. He had to learn the position and has become a playmaker because that's who he is. We watched him practice for 2 days. He was making plays. He would spend the first half of practice on defense. He came over and he wasn't even playing. He would do, Drew Pine was his quarterback. It wasn't even Tyler. He would just throw balls up, 50-50. X just coming down with it. And I'm like, the young man's a playmaker. He's just a playmaker. I'm not sitting here saying this dude is the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I believe it. He'd be the second or third option.
Yep. Yep. Easily.
That's it. And right now, left as
Cam's a two-way player. We might throw Cam back over there at receiver if we
you're
wanted
right. I guess you're right. Heck, 2 of our top 3 defensive backs were recruited as wide receivers.
to. Yeah.
But no, it is.
Don't let us do something nasty and put our best corner safety as our best 2 receivers. We'll do it.
It's some players that are just playmakers. They make plays. They have a knack for the ball, whatever you want to call it. And as much as you want to talk about stars, and like, look, you just want kids to make plays. That's it. And he makes plays, man. He makes plays. And right now, rather than having a dude that runs a 4.3, I would rather have a dude that runs a 4.5, 4.6. That's a playmaker.
That's it. I mean, that's the key. Now
That's
that's
it.
why all the third round guys are in the league and all the first, second round guys are out the league.
Right. Oh, he's a playmaker. Give me playmakers, man. All that combine, he run a 4.2, 4. No. Who's making plays? Who's making plays? You know? And like, dude, I'm sorry. To right now at this point, it's irresponsible to even try to compare Marcus Freeman to Brian Kelly. Like, do you really want to line up Brian Kelly's first 2 years at Notre Dame on and off the field with Marcus Freeman and recruiting? I don't think you want to do that. I just don't think you want to do that. That's like, don't do that. Talking about Brian Kelly that had a decade of coaching experience. Like, why are you comparing him to a dude that had 0 head coaching experience? Like, what are we talking about? Like for everything that Brian Kelly is being, that dude don't have no national championships. So you can say what you want to say. Talk to me after Marcus Freeman has had 8 to 10 years under his belt. Because Marcus Freeman was a better recruiter as a head coach his first day on the job. Period. He's a better leader of a coaching staff, in my opinion, the first day he took the job. Because I know the horror stories about how BK treated his coaches, how he ignored the mothers of recruits. Y'all really don't want to have this Brian Kelly conversation. You really don't. And if you starting that Brian Kelly's better than Marcus Freeman stuff, yeah, it's way too early. And that's fine if that's your opinion. But the truth of the matter is, if Marcus Freeman wins out, he'll have one more win in his first 2 seasons at Notre Dame than Brian Kelly did. I'm just saying. It took Brian Kelly how many years to beat Clemson? Love?
Took him a minute.
Well, I'm sorry, bro, because if you don't get hurt, you guys beat them. So
we beat them.
That's unfortunate. And that's just my opinion. But it took him a while. Marcus Freeman did it in a year of turmoil with the least talented quarterback he probably would ever have during his time in Notre Dame. It's, but I understand the frustration left from the fan base, man, and why, they're frustrated. You're starting to see the posts about Marcus Freeman and, the rants, and it's like, let's be better. It's only been a year and some months. Like, relax.
Yeah.
Relax. Like, he doesn't even have the program is not even all his players yet. At least let him get all his players in the building. Well, the whole roster is his.
Yeah, just give him time.
But yeah, I agree with you, Left. I would, right now, if you had me say, yo, coaches or playmakers, give me the playmakers. And it goes back once to our conversation with Quincy Avery. Notre Dame, all this stuff, people can talk about South Bend and the weather. Notre Dame has an NFL problem. Okay? Notre Dame has an NFL problem at the key positions. And when they start producing first round, second round talent at quarterback, wide receiver, and defensive tackle, you'll see things change. That's the challenge facing Marcus Freeman. Regardless of the dysfunction, the challenge that's facing this coaching staff is what it is. Marshall, I agree with you. Marcus Freeman, in all fairness, is going to need 3 to 4 recruiting classes. At the end of the day, we can be honest about what the issue is from a talent standpoint in Notre Dame. And being honest about that does not mean that Notre Dame doesn't have talent. See, the people that want to go all the way to that extreme, like, man, we don't have any talent. That's not true. You can't go down to Georgia and compete, have the ball with a chance to win if you don't have talent. I've watched the teams that are supposed to be the up and comers in the SEC go to Georgia, smack double digits. Notre Dame has played Georgia twice, South Bend in Athens, and had the ball with a chance to win late in the fourth quarter both times. So you can't sit here and say Notre Dame doesn't have talent. Do they have the talent to take you over the top? It's over the top talent at the key positions, which goes back to, me observing Tommy Rees really regurgitating the same plays from the Gator Bowl against LSU, putting up 42 with Jalen Milroe at quarterback. And I'm like, man, it's not the system. Real Milroe is just out here making plays. Man, that cat Jalen, did you see Jalen Milroe run over Harold Perkins going into the end zone? And stood over him left?
I seen it.
I just shook my head. I said, dude, this guy Jalen Milroe is just him and Jalen Daniels, before he got hurt, they were putting on a show.
Absolutely.
Both of them were putting on a show. It's incredible, man. So I'm not saying this to be apologetic about anything that has transpired with the play calling and the game plan. Look, I'm Notre Dame fans. I'm right there with you. Conversations need to happen and changes need to be made. So I'm right there with you. All I'm saying is that simplicity, because all of us are like, oh, we need to be more creative offensively. We need to do this. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can be simple. Just get you some dudes and you can be as simple as you want to be.
Yeah.
The Chicago Bulls ran triangle every time down. And they just reacted to what the defense did. That is the triangle offense. Simple. But you can be simple when you got them dudes. You got them dudes, you can be real simple offensively.
That's right.
Left, when you brought up Brock Bowers for Georgia, when they get in a pinch, it gets real simple offensively, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Get the ball to 19. I don't care how we give it to them. Run, screen, post, crossing route.
Any way they can.
Any way they can, man. Left, you said it. You've been an offensive coordinator, and I'm sure veteran offensive coordinators say it all the time. In the big games, in the big moments, it ain't about the play call. It's the player. Like offensive coordinators, veterans, they don't call plays. They try to get the ball to players in big situations. And that's it. And the truth of the matter is, Notre Dame has some good players. They don't have that lead dog in the wide receiver room. I believe they have a couple of dogs in the running back room. 3 to be exact. The tight end room has always had a dog. He just tore his ACL against Pitt. Offensive line has always had a dog. I seen a lot of people going in on Joe Rudolph. Can I say something left? This offensive line has had 3 different coaches, dude. Blake Fisher's had 3 different coaches with 3 different mindsets. As much, and I watched the game again, right? Blake Fisher stunk for the last 8 minutes. It was bad. I didn't hear Xavier Thomas's name before the fourth quarter at all. As much as people want to bring up his name for the last 2 series, I know I watched the first 3 series and I watched Blake Fisher put him on his face at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm
He's
talking
a
about,
sneaky
man.
sheep.
Dude, because we don't have the dogs, everything else that we do have has to be perfect. The O-line has to be perfect. The tight end has to be perfect. The dogs we have on defense have to be perfect, right? People complaining about the defense for Clemson. They gave up 21 points.
That's right.
On a bad day. Think about that. On a bad day, this defense gave up 21 points. Had a bad day as a run defense. Gave up 21 points. So if our best is not perfect, yo, it's not going to work out. And heck, when our best, the defense played flawless against Ohio State. Did they not? Darn near flawless. We can talk about the end of the game a lot. The offensive line played darn near flawless against Ohio State. We lost. We lost. So it's not, you talk about coordinators and all that. Dude, you need players. You need difference makers. That's the key thing. You need difference makers, man. Right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Marcus Freeman was not able to hold on to his biggest difference makers in his 2023 recruiting class. That's really it. If Keon Keeley, Dante Moore, and Peyton Bowen were in Notre Dame uniform, you wouldn't be questioning who the dogs were going to be next year. You wouldn't be worried about the quarterback play next year. It's, yo, this is the real conversation. It is what it is. You have to find those guys. And hopefully CJ Carr is one of those guys. Hopefully Deuce Knight, Kenny Minchey, is one of those guys. And people are like, you guys always look, Steve. I've watched practice, man. I don't look. My opinion of Steve Angeli is not changing. I've watched him for 2 years in practice.
Yeah.
Can he be a good quarterback?
For being the dude.
No, can he be a good quarterback? Yes. Because that's not based upon me. That's based upon the work he puts in.
Right.
Yes, he can be a good quarterback. Steve Angeli is not a dude.
That's all we talking.
And that's not being disrespectful. He's not a dude. He ain't CJ Stroud.
No.
He's just not.
Not Trevor Lawrence.
And because we say that, you know, people feel like we're being disrespectful towards him. He's not a dude. You know a dude when you see him. You know it. He's just not a dude. Didn't we stack the box and beg Klubnik to beat? Now, the problem is they really didn't stack the box. Go look at Moffat's first touchdown. They didn't stack the box. And Cade Klubnik didn't do anything. Cade Klubnik was throwing BLTs all over the field. The pass, and Cam Hart should have intercepted the pass interference.
Yeah.
He airmailed 2 balls, one over the middle that DJ Brown just couldn't get to. Xavier Watts picked one off. Like, dude, Cade Klubnik was throwing dude, they tried not to put the ball in Cade Klubnik's hands. The running back ran 36 times. Cade Klubnik didn't beat Notre Dame. Cade Klubnik had a Drew Pine game from last year.
Yeah.
That's it. And like John Massey said, like, yo, Cade Klubnik had the success he had in the passing game when Cam Hart and Benjamin Morrison went to the sideline, which I don't care. I don't have a problem with it. You know why? Because it's the same thing they've been doing every game. Every game at that point, they go to the sideline and the youngsters come in. No matter who the opponent has been. That's what they've done. Oh, ain't no, dude. Mike Mickens knows what he's doing. Mike Mickens knows how to develop defensive backs. No problem with that. None. If Tyree doesn't muff the punt and 10 doesn't throw a pick six, what's the score left?
Yeah, we up probably by 10.
It's 23-21 Notre Dame. As bad as they played, that's the game. That's it. That's it. They didn't need to. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. Notre Dame didn't need to stack the box. They blew assignments and didn't tackle in the first half. Jack Kaiser said it. They didn't need to stack the box. What did they do late in the game, Left? Marcus Freeman said it. Remember, you brought it up yesterday. We finally started tackling in the second half. That's what he said. We finally started tackling, and all of a sudden we were able to get stops. 5 consecutive stops. 5 consecutive punts for Clemson. Why? Fundamentals. Just tackle. Tackle the big dude. And don't blow an assignment that gives him a clear lane to a touchdown. DJ Brown.
That's it.
That's it. Do your job. Clemson probably comes up with 17 to 20 points. And the defense still played well on a bad day.
On a bad day.
This is why I was kind of upset with how nice Marcus Freeman was being towards Clemson. The fact that they didn't stack the box was disrespectful to Clemson. Like, dude, we know y'all can't pass the ball. And we're still not going to stack the box. We just have to play better. And we can shut y'all running game down with 6-7 in the box. And when they finally start playing good, sound football in the second half, that's exactly what they were able to do, Left. Shut them down. So, and I tip my cap to Jack Kaiser and what he said. Man, we're not worried about what the offense is doing. We're worried about ourselves. We had too much to get right from the first half going into the second half. Like, man, we don't worry about that. We go do our jobs. I was like, that's accountability. I don't care if you're 11-1, 12-0, 10-2. Give me a team that's going to be accountable for whatever they put out on the field. And I'm cool with that. Dabo should be puffing his chest out. He outcoached Marcus Freeman. Man, did you see how Dabo collapsed on the sideline? Like, oh, thank God. After they got that last interception,
thank God.
He collapsed like, oh, thank God. The same dude. He felt the same as David Shaw in Notre Dame Stadium. David Shaw just smirked. Yeah. Smirked like, ooh, I got away with one. Dabo was the same way on Saturday.
Got away with one.
Got away with one. See, John Massey, the big difference is if you had a Tyler from like Mishawaka call in to Marcus Freeman, Marcus Freeman will handle that situation totally different. Marcus Freeman mess around and pray for the dude. at the end. Real talk. Lucky Lefty podcast. Left, you got anything before we get out of here, man?
Great show so far, man. Great
Man,
show.
this was a great show. The chat is always dope. We had to push the show back. Some things came up. We're back on tomorrow. Left. Where are you on the call this week? Do you know?
I have this week San Diego State versus Colorado State.
Oh, you back. You're close to the crib this week.
Man, finally. But
So,
I got a
so you're just driving? You're just driving? Or you have to
I'm
take
not
a
driving
flight?
to Colorado. No, it's
I
at
thought it was
Colorado.
at San Diego State. I'm sorry.
Oh, man, this side of the world, you know. Usually I'm always going to the Midwest.
To the Midwest and then the East Coast. But yeah, I'm glad you're close though.
Oh, yeah.
That flight is quick. You've been, bro. I tip my cap to you, man, because especially with connecting flights, you've been on some marathon flights on Sundays.
Oh, man.
That's why when we do our Monday show, I understand. Like after 45 minutes, I'm like, yeah, Left is winding down, dude.
Yeah. It'd be having more energy when I say, yeah, let's go. And then when I get there, I'm like, oh,
right. Left hit me like, you ready to go? You ready to record? You get to that 45-minute mark, Left is like, man,
sheesh.
whew, that's that cross-country flying all the time, bro. Changing time zones. It ain't no joke.
Not easy.
Man. But Left on the call, CBS Sports Network. San Diego State goes up to Colorado State. Colorado State, it's going to be fun talking to Jay Norvell. They got some really good receivers, Left.
Oh, yeah. They got some talent for sure.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty podcast. You know what time it is?
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, Petty Story of the Day, brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, MALIK ZAIRE.com for that ONORA whiskey, and also for your traveling needs. Notre Dame fans, you need to book a flight during the holiday season, go to MALIKZAIRE.com. They'll get you right. Lowest fares out there. Left, I got to put your boy LeBron James on the petty train.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. He ain't had to do all that.
Man, look. You're in Miami. You know they're going to ask you about your time in Miami. You still holding grudges because Pat Riley didn't acquiesce to you. Get over it, man.
Tell you to get over it.
My man, if you don't go to Miami, you sitting on 2 championships. Maybe. I don't know how that Cleveland one turns out if you don't go to Miami. Stop. The social media age is messing you up, dude. Because you always feel like everything is a debate about your career.
You said it's messing him up?
It's messing him up, dude. Because you know he is the social media star for the NBA. Like, he hit as soon as the internet was taken off. Like, that was the collision. His career, the internet, social media, he is really like the first social media baby in the NBA.
Yeah.
And Wemby is about to be the next. Wemby might go to a whole nother stratosphere. Real talk.
You think so?
Yeah, dude.
But he's not as personable as LeBron. Like, Wemby can't do no Sprite commercial.
I think it'll come out. I just think he's being passive with it.
Okay.
Because I watch him with his teammates. And he's not, him and his teammates, like, the way they, react to one another, it's like, yo, he's one of the boys. Like they
Yeah,
kick,
he's definitely one of the boys. They respect him a lot.
and they have a young squad. So to see that, I'm like, okay, his personality eventually will come out. But yeah, Bron, let that go, man. Just let it go. Just stop defending yourself, feeling like you always have to defend yourself. Get your records, get the assist record, points record, and just let your career speak for itself, dude. You can't, like, you, Mav, and Rich, man, y'all got to stop. Y'all be out here on campaigns. And for what? Dude, either you one or two, depending upon who you talking to. That's it. You will never be the clear cut number one. I'm sorry, man. It's not happening. That's just the way people are. Some people are gonna say Mike, some people are gonna say you, some people might even say Kareem. That's life, man. All this campaigning you all are doing because you feel like it should be obvious. It shouldn't even be close. Stop it, man. The disrespect you show in Miami and what they meant to your career and your development, and how you turn from, mean old lion with no courage to the monster that you are now. All of that happened in Miami with D Wade, bro. So you owe Pat Riley and you owe D Wade. Because after you disappeared against the Dallas Mavericks with JJ Barea and Jason Terry sticking you in the fourth quarter, yeah, after you disappeared, it was D Wade that came to you in the offseason and said, dude, you got to lead this team. You got to be the dog. And you got it done. But somebody had to teach you how to win, bro. Stop acting like you knew how to win a championship. You didn't. Because if you did, you would have stayed in Cleveland. No, you wouldn't, because you knew they would have never gave you the talent you needed. I'll give you that much respect. But man, what you think? What was the buzz about the debut of James Harden last night out there, Left?
They don't respect the Clippers out here, so it don't even matter.
They still don't respect the Clippers. Oh, hey man, I talked about Hannah Hidalgo, Marcus Burton. Hey man, that dude Isaiah Collier for USC. Oh yeah, top 5 pick in the NBA draft next year. Book it. Book it. That kid can go. Him with my boy Boogie Ellis. Yeah, I'm definitely going to some USC games this year.
Oh yeah. Hopefully Bronny comes back.
He's supposed to be back in January. What I've heard, Left, is that if his parents weren't who they were, Bronny would probably be playing. You understand what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
Yeah, like Bron ain't playing. Bron ain't playing with his son's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. In other situations where, you have parents that, don't know sports, don't have a father that really spends a lot of money on his body and knows some things, has a lot of people he can consult with, because he's been cleared to kind of like do light work and stuff. They said you would probably see Bronny during the early stages, but now, because his dad is LeBron, yeah, they're not playing that game at all. Like, no, y'all will see him in January. So, and they should value his life over college basketball.
That's right.
All right, Left. It's Tuesday, man. What you watching tonight?
Well, we got NBA games on tonight.
I think that's something.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna check a couple of shows out, a couple of documentaries. It might be a YouTube podcast documentary night. Tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock left.
Yep.
All right. Lucky Left the podcast, man. Have a great day. Make sure you spend it different.